listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time. I'm Pastor Pope, and we thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, right here in the FijiWater.com sponsored studio to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason we are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. We are here every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just water. This is Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com and newlifeinternationalcdc.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, to discuss whatever topics are important to you and whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. So I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your parents are continuously trying to tell you how to live your life. You say you are doing most of the right things. And although they encourage you when you do right, they keep pointing out what they perceive not to be perfect in your life. So let me begin by saying this. So you have parents who encourage you. You're 32 years of age. You didn't say that in your communication, but God allowed me to see that in your secret place of your life. So you're 32 years of age. You are 11 years out of college. And you have started in your career. You've been working in your career. You are living in an apartment. You have your own transportation. You're doing the basic things that we need to do to begin having a quality of life. Your parents encourage you, you say. So you say you're doing most of the right things. All right. So as far as your career is concerned, you're doing the right things. Your personal life is what your parents are concerned about. And part of their concern is no different than many of us who have millennials as children. The concern is, first of all, are you performing at the highest level that's going to allow you to be successful in your career? That's every parent, every active parent. That's the concern we have for our children. That's the first thing. The second thing is, are you building any wealth? So you indicated that you're living in an apartment. You've been living in an apartment for 11 years now after college. You've been living in an apartment. Okay, and you didn't, right after college, you made a pit stop at home and you got a job and you saved some money and put down a security deposit on an apartment. So you've been living in apartments since you began your career. Your parents are concerned that you're not building any wealth. You like to travel, as most millennials do. You like to travel so that you can show that you have an active lifestyle. But you're not building any wealth. So living in an apartment, multifamily, means that you're making people like myself and others who invest rich, but you're not building any wealth for yourself. So your parents are concerned about that. They're concerned about your relationships. You're dating people. See, what you got to understand is your parents are on the outside looking in. They can see what's not being perfected in your life. See, you made the mistake of thinking that your parents want you to be perfect and they want you to have a perfect life. No, they want you to have a better life. They know what imperfection is. They've lived through imperfection. And so it's not that they want you to be perfect, but they want your life to be continuously perfected. They want you to really have a great life. They're doing no different than they are with your siblings. You have 2 other siblings. They're doing the same thing with your siblings. They want your siblings to have that same quality of life that includes having a successful career, building wealth, getting married, having children. You know, that's a new thing for millennials now. You know, and I don't know the exact statistic, but I would venture to say that many millennials are not having children at an early point in their life, which is fine, but we also have to take into consideration there's many of them saying, I don't want to have children. So, you know, your parents are concerned about is there going to be a next generation? And what's that going to look like? You know, once upon a time, and I'm going to take a little time with this because I want everyone to really grab hold of this. Once upon a time, it was really about who is going to, so let me walk you through this. The reason people would always say, well, what difference does it make if a man only has daughters or if he has, you know, a son? Well, in previous generations, the reason it was important to have a son is because you had someone to carry on the family name. So whether you had daughters or not, the reason you wanted to have a son was so that there would be someone to carry your last name into the next generation. Because if not, the last name could deteriorate, could diminish. And so it was important for men to have a male child. Now the millennial generation has well, and not just the millennial generation, but people have found that, okay, you can include the last name as the secondary name. For example, the mother's maiden name might be included, or you might have, for lack of a better term, 2 last names. You have your first name, your middle name, and then the mother's last name and the father's last name. So people started getting creative with ways to find ways to carry on the family name. I get it. But now you're talking about there's a whole significant percentage of millennials who are saying, I don't even want to have a child. Which means that there's no one to carry on the family name. So basically what your parents are concerned about is they leave you their personal property, and you're just going to spend it doing whatever you want to do because there's no generation for you to leave it to. There's no generation following you to leave it to. Now you're saying, well, I'm 32, I may decide at some point to have a child, but the reality is that you are getting later in, you're 32, you're not married, the relationship you're in right now is a little sketchy, so there's another issue that your parents are dealing with because they've watched you go into relationships last for a period of time and then they dissolve and the two of you go your own way. So they're constantly thinking about what that looks like for you moving forward. And then someday you'll be living your life alone and you're hoping that your siblings will have children who both of them don't have any children. Both of them are not married. So you're hoping that someday one of them will have children. If you don't have children, then you'll have nieces and nephews to take care of you. How's that going to work out for you? Because you don't really know what they're going to be like. You know what's really interesting is your parents are only looking at your life and encouraging you to perfect it. They're not expecting you to be perfect. They've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. They don't expect you to be perfect. They want you to perfect your life. They want you to have the best quality of life that you can possibly have. And I get it. We have modern medicine and there are ways that if people want to have children later in life, they can have children later in life. You know, they can freeze their eggs, they can have, a later pregnancy and believing that everything will be all right. There's a lot of moving parts to this life. And all your parents, what you should be thankful for is that your parents continue to encourage you when you do right. But you've got your own life to live. And they know that. They're just hoping that by sharing with you and pointing out what's imperfect that can be perfected, that hopefully you will make the decision at some point in time to perfect it, because they can't live your life for you. One of the things that we now know as parents is that well, let me just say this. We don't want to live your lives. We have our own lives to live. There are a lot of parents living through the lives of their children, and that's a whole different dynamic. But the reality is you have your own life to live, and your parents know that. They just want you to perfect your life. They want you to have the best quality of life that you can possibly have. And I'm going to say this for all of the millennial listeners out there. One of the things you have to be very careful about is that your wills can be changed. Trusts that are not set up as irrevocable trusts can be revised. So your parents might get to the point where they realize if you're not going to have children and all you're going to do is sell off their personal assets and live on it to have fun and travel and enjoy life and, live the way you want to live, they may decide they're going to spend your inheritance. They may decide that they're not going to be concerned, since you are not concerned about how you're going to live your life. They may decide they're not going to be concerned about you being able to have resources to squander away, or they may even take into consideration that if they leave more than enough for you, it won't be a blessing, it will become a curse and disrupt the quality of your life. See, those are things we have to take into consideration also. That's why you see the bumper sticker from time to time that says, I'm spending my children's inheritance. And the reason is because parents realize that it's not going to be good for their children to inherit all of that. And so they have to make changes also. So for all of you millennials out there, if you think you're living well now and your parents are going to leave everything to you and you're going to have it all, you might want to check yourself, because if your parents determine that it's not going to be good for you, they're not going to leave it to you, because it would be destructive for you. They might just decide to use it all while they're here and enjoy life themselves, instead of being concerned about you having the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of their labor when they're old and deceased and gone to heaven. So be mindful of that, and just realize that your parents are encouraging you to become the best version of yourself that you can possibly become. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you can become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your husband of 2 years wants to go and visit his children from his first marriage in a neighboring state for the Labor Day holiday. Now, you wrote this about 10 days ago, but we're just getting to your communication. So you said in your communication, he does not want you to go with him because he says it is stressful dealing with his ex-wife. Okay, so let me be clear about something. When your husband tells you that he doesn't want you to go with him because it's going to be stressful, he knows that it's going to be stressful. He knows dealing with his ex-wife is stressful. He doesn't really want you stressed out. It's not because of any other reason except he doesn't want you being stressed out so that you then cause additional stress. And so that's why he said he'll just go, he'll spend the weekend with the children, he'll spend Labor Day, but he's checking on, pardon me, he's checking into a hotel. He's not going to his ex-wife's home and stay there while he's spending time with the children. So here's what I'm going to say to you, and this is going to help him to feel less stressed about this. Tell him you would like to ride with him, because what you've been saying is you don't want him to go for the weekend. He's determined to go, and you've got to understand he has his reasons for being determined to go and visit the children. They started back there, starting back to school, and he wants to see them, and I get it. Here's what you want to do. Don't make this stressful. Tell him that you would like to ride with him. So it's the ride's going to be about 2.5 hours. So just tell him you want to ride with him so that you can spend some time with him. And then when you check into the hotel, you just relax at the hotel, read, go swimming, do whatever you can do to relax and enjoy yourself so that when he's not with the children, he can be with you. Because at the end of the day, he's going to take them back. And then he's going to want to be with you. So, when he gets back, even though, look, you're not going to have a lot of time with him. I mean, first of all, he's not gonna be going over there early in the morning, but he is going to go. He's gonna go and take them out to lunch. He's gonna find something to do with them, and then he's gonna take them out to dinner. So he's gonna be gone the whole day, and that was the other thing. So he didn't want to take you because then he'd come back, and then you two would have a stressful environment. So he was just trying to eliminate some stress. That's what men do. We're going to look for the way to eliminate as much stress as we possibly can when it comes to relationships. So don't stress him out. He's going to want to take them out to dinner. So let him take them out to dinner. He's going to come back, and then he's going to want to rest. And then the next day, he's going to want to take them again. So you're talking about Saturday, you're talking about Sunday, and then you're talking about Monday. And then he's going to want to go and see them for whatever cookout they're having. That'll be at the house. So he's going to want to go and do that. And then he's going to want to leave. And he's going to have to deal with the traffic coming back. So that means that the two of you have some time on the ride on the way back also. And he can tell you how to, just ask him, how are the kids doing? How, you two aren't at that place yet where he's able to, have the kids and have you involved yet, because he's got an ex-wife who, there's a reason she's the ex-wife. What you want to do is make this as relaxing for you and your husband as it possibly can be. No stress. Because that's the only way he's going to want to and be willing to take you with him. Because look, at the end of the day, you have two cars. He can get in the car and drive, and then deal with the fallout when he calls you or when he comes home. That's not what he's trying to do. He's just trying to eliminate the stress. So just go spend time with him when he's not with the children, and then when he comes back to the hotel, the two of you can have some time together. And then on Monday, when it's time to leave and return, you can have time together on the ride back, and you can have the rest of Monday evening together. And if you feel like you need a little extra time with him, ask your husband if he can take the day off following Labor Day. Now, I know it might be a little late, so I don't know well, I do know. He'll find a way. He'll get someone to cover for him on Tuesday, because he wants peace. He doesn't want drama. He doesn't want stress. So he'll find a way to make it work. And then you could take off on Tuesday, and the two of you can spend some time together. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't check your email. I'm just trying to get you to a place where you're harmonious. You can both check your email, you can check your voicemails, but at least you could spend the day together after the holiday is over. If you do that, you'll be able to have peace in your household, you'll be able to have harmony in your household, and you two are going to work all of these things out with the children, because eventually you'll get to a place where, either she's going to allow him to take the kids for certain periods of time, or he's going to go to court and deal with the issue. One way or the other, it'll be resolved in time. But now is not the time. Just say to him, listen, I didn't want you to go not because I didn't want you to see the children, but I just didn't want you to be away. I wanted us to enjoy the holiday weekend together. So I'd like to ride with you. And I'll stay in the hotel while you go and spend time with the children. When you come back at night, we'll have some quiet time together. We'll get some rest and relaxation. And you're going to read a book. You're going to do some things at the hotel. You're going to swim. You're going to, you're going to do whatever you want to do while he's spending time with the children. And then you're going to ask him to take Tuesday off. And you're going to take Tuesday off, so the two of you have a day to spend together. And if you do that, you're going to be just fine. But don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you are in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And right now, if you order from Charles Tyrwhitt, you can receive 4 high-quality cotton shirts for $139 if you use the code GETSET at Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And right now, they are celebrating Labor Day with 20% off if you spend $200 or more, and 15% off if you spend $100 at The White Company. You can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been looking back at your life and you realize that you've been blessed. Okay. And you know, I received this from several people, realizing how blessed they have truly been. But you all are uncertain about your future. And you said you really would like some guidance on your future. So I'm going to respond to all of you in a collective way, even though each of you are going to have your own future. You know, I have often used this analogy, and I will continue using this analogy. You know, and there's an old adage that says you may not know what the future holds, but you know who holds the future. But what I will tell you is this. However, I will tell you this. You that have written this communication have a really bright future. You just have to learn to navigate your future. And for those of you who have communicated this to me, that you feel blessed, you're just a little confused about the future. Listen, it's time for us all to really get a clear vision for the future. It's really important that we have clarity for the future. You know, I know a lot of millennials don't have a lot of clarity about life, but you're not a millennial. And some of you that have sent in similar communications are not millennials. Your thoughts are about coming to the end of life, you know, being in the 4th quarter. But that doesn't mean that you don't still have a bright future. As long as we stay healthy and well, we know that we have the opportunity to really maximize the quality of our lives. So let's work to that end. Let's find methods that will allow us to navigate the greatness of our lives. Let's look, you know, I've often used this analogy, and here's where I'm going to go with this. There are people that you see in the public, people that you encounter along the way, who have really done some great things. And if you identify them and emulate what they're doing, you can accomplish your goals. You can do what they're doing because they're no different than you. They just have a different way of doing it, and they may achieve at another level, but you'll still have your own level. Emulate what others are doing who are having the success that you desire to achieve. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. Taste of Paradise, we deliver right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. Tomorrow, Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, will be with us right here in 3D, BeccaTheDietitian.com, from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. Remember, we are Facebook Live, YouTube Live,